Buena Park is in the building. Buena Park? What's the deal? Nothing but the homies out there. Nothing but the homies. What's up with the homies?
Who poppin', we poppin', we made.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show where anything goes. I'm your host, Mark Vargas, and you're tuned in to the Centerlocked show. And today we got somebody. If you're from North Orange County, LA County, you know who this person is right now. We got Bert Flores. And you know what? He's not just the owner of one. He's not just the owner of two. He's not just the owner of three. Man, heck, man, I'll let him introduce how many businesses he's actually running. Bert, man, how you doing? And if you could let everybody know what you're in charge of.
Hey everybody, this is Bert. So pretty much I'm in charge of Vision X. That's pretty much my foundation right there. And then from there, I got workshop gym inside the same facility, and also Taste Me Nutrition, same thing inside the same facility. And then we also have True Promotions and Amigos Urban Kitchen. And what's coming next is actually, it's in the works. It should get launched next month. It's going to be called Trade and Stuff, which is going to be a sneaker buy, trade, and sell event. But that's pretty much it for now.
Hell yeah, man. I know we were talking a little bit before we started recording. And one of the questions I had for you, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people who know who you are and, you know, maybe don't really know the vision or, Vision X, the vision that you have is, how did you get into like making businesses, creating businesses, even, like entrepreneurship? Like what was the foundation of what you're living now?
Honestly, I feel like I was kind of born to do this, and I was always pretty creative. I was always into art. I was always into drawing. And I think now this is how I actually express my creativity. And that's why I have so many projects. Because to me, it's like an art form. Like the whole process of building a project, it's art to me. And I think that's really the reason why I'm involved in so many businesses, because it's not like a money thing for me. It's more of a creative thing for me. And it just keeps, it's like painting a whole new art piece every time I start a new project. Yes. So that's really how I express myself. And that's why Vision X got built, because Vision X is technically my foundation. It gives me the ability to have multiple businesses, because what we do at Vision X is actually how businesses grow. And what we do is literally have all the resources that a business needs to grow and succeed. Everything from like the beginning process of making a logo to, brand guidelines, and to building social media pages, building content, and everything that even a brick and mortar needs, from, interior designing, from, graphics, wall wraps, signage, channel letters, outdoor, indoor signage. We can do custom things, canvases, you name it, we do. Merchandising, apparel. That's what we do with Vision X. And not just that, but I'm also certified as a business coach and life coach. So having that trait, that's where the consulting comes in. And pretty much we just want to help. And me personally, I just want to help other people build their businesses as well. And that's what Vision X is all about. As far as the other businesses, they all kind of get in the rotation of Vision X as far as clients. So that's how I can keep up, because a lot of people might say like, hey, why do you have so many businesses? That's probably not the smart thing to do. If you listen to business gurus, they'll tell you focus on one thing. And honestly, I would doubt myself at one point, because I'm like, why am I doing all this? But then I was like, shit, why can't I be great? Why can't I be, like a lot of people doubted Michael Jordan, a lot of people doubted Kobe. Why can't I be that? And when it comes to business, like, why can I be somebody that created multiple businesses at once? So that's why I'm gunning for it. And I think I have the resources to back me. And again, to me, it's just like having another client when it comes to my business, due to the fact that I build the foundation through Vision X. So I'm helping other businesses and other projects while I'm at it. So to me, it's just part of the rotation, and I have the team. I'm blessed enough to have a team that backs me up 100%, and that's how we're pushing. So that's pretty much what we got going right now.
No, man. I mean, definitely. Since I've met you, you've been somebody that you can tell has an inspiration to do many things in life, has an inspiration to not just do things in life, but to do things successfully in life. And that's something I've always been able to pick from you and, be able to tell from you. Even when I was, 17, 16, 17, 18 years old, and the thing that I find intriguing about it all is just like you said, people will say not to do that, not to go into multiple things at once. But in reality, like if you're running them, if you are, I guess like you said, everything is basically tied in together, And that's one thing that you just mentioned right now. If you have a solid team, like I couldn't agree more with. Like if you feel like you can attack one thing, like cool. But if you feel like you can attack two, three, four, five, whatever it is, and it comes down to having a solid team, and like you said, a foundation business, you can't have that foundation business without a wanting to do it yourself, but b, maybe even flip it. If you don't have a solid team, a solid corner, like you won't be able to accomplish any of these things. So like there's a lot of people that listen to this are maybe, I don't want to say young, but kind of growing up, young adults, maybe starting their adult life. And the one thing that we would always say, or we always kind of lived through, and you being a little bit older, you kind of know already, but when you're in high school, you're friends with everybody.
Yeah.
Then you kind of go through a phase that you kind of, your circle gets smaller, and then now everybody that's kind of dwindled out, or you come across people that you might have just met the last couple years,
Mhm.
and how important is it selecting that solid foundation, that solid team to attack, not just one business, but many aspects of life? Like just speak on it. Cause I know a lot of people are having difficulty, like trying to figure out like who they want to ride with. You know what I mean?
It's key. It's key. Having the right team is super key. The problem nowadays is that everybody wants to be number one. That's a big problem. And especially with the younger crowd. I mean, we live in a new world where everything's out there. So it's like, why can't I do it? Right.
Mhm.
But sometimes people don't understand their position. And I think that's when people learn to know themselves and know their role in a team. It's just like anything else. It's like a basketball team. You need a coach, you need a point guard, you need a shooting guard, you need every position. You need a center, small forward, power forward. You need everybody, and everybody's important, and everybody has leadership roles. But sometimes when you're growing up and and you're trying to like establish a team, when most of the times when we're starting a business, we're doing it with our friends, and that gets difficult as well, because our friends are so used to being in the same page and the same level with us, as far as high school goes, because it's like high school, usually we have the same goals and ambitions. Like, okay, as a male, at least me and my group of friends at the time, all we really cared about was like, hey, let's stress fly, let's pick up on some girls, let's party, and let's make the most out of it and have fun. And everybody kind of has that same mentality. So then when we hit the real world, that's when things change, and we start to realize like, shit, we're all a little different, because we start going through different paths. And then it's kind of difficult because everybody still wants to be on the same page, but technically we're not equal. And then that's when things start to get a little weird. But just so I don't like lose track, I think people need to understand that it's not just about being number one all the time. Sometimes it's okay to be number two, number five, and just be a part of multiple things, because then that starts to add up. I mean, we live in a world where it's all about multiple streams of income, so why always try to be number one? Sometimes a position where you're number five is going to open many doors, and then with time, you'll eventually be number one in your own branch, and people don't see that. They want to cut corners, and they always just want to be number one, and they just want to be egotistic about things and that's what's killing, I think, businesses right now, that everybody's literally like me, me, me. And they're not, and then, they might, sometimes they're just like, well, it's easy for you to say because like you're number one in most of your positions. But it's not about that. Like, to me, I feel like I always kind of just had it in me. Like, it's nothing that I didn't choose it. I think it just kind of chose me. I just been in that position. And some other people, I feel like they don't have the tools, but they want to be number one so bad that they start to go against you. And that's not good. So you go through a big wave of, I mean, from my experience, of just people falling in and out through ego positions, or sometimes because they don't have the drive. And that's the difficult part. But once you figure it out, once you actually build that solid team, then, man, sky's the limit, honestly. But everybody in your team needs to be on the same page. Everybody needs to understand the role. Everybody needs to understand your vision, and everybody needs to be pushing at the same pace. Because once you start to have anchors, that's the worst feeling ever, and you don't need anchors. You need everybody to be pushing towards the same vision. And again, nobody can do it themselves, and everybody needs a team. And if you have something going for yourself, even if you're an artist, a music artist, you need a team. You can't do it. You can't do it alone, because you need somebody you need people that are gonna build content. You need people that are gonna help push you. You need a manager. You need all those. It's not just a one-man show. It never is. You can't be a lone ranger in anything, because you always need community behind you. If you really want to like achieve great things, you need community behind you. So you can't be a lone ranger in this. Like, I can't stress that enough.
No, man, I'm music to my ears, basically everything you're saying. Like, I know our team here at Sideline Sports, we have our own little sections that we do, or our own little areas that we cover. Like, we have Jose's doing soccer, he's covering basketball. Alex is doing baseball. I'm more football, a little bit of basketball, a little bit of the MMA game, boxing, whatever, stuff like that. But like you said, trying to do it by yourself it's not just going to be impossible to do, but it gets tiring. Like,
Oh
that's
yeah,
one thing a lot of people, and they try to go into something, and I went through it myself, where it's like you get burnt out. Trying to do it, and then you think that you're not capable of doing it. But in reality, is if you had a solid team where you can, dish out some of the work, it's easier to work. It's easier, what I mean? Like you said, like, once you become, if there's times, like you said, other people become the anchors, and they fall, or they can't, be part of the team. It's hard when you become that anchor, when what I mean? It's hard to see that. And when you have a good team, they're able to call you out on that. They're
yeah,
able to say, "Hey, bro, you're slipping up here, or you're slipping up there. Let's get it together." Or, "Do you need any help? How are
yeah.
you doing?" And like, that's another thing. Like, I try to
That's
stress
key.
in my show, is when I have people on, and I have had people from all different types of walk of life. The main thing, like, a lot of people have is mental health. Like, that's another
That's
thing. Like, we
key.
have, as men, we're young men going into our careers, we can't forget about our mental health. And I know it's one of those things where it's cliche to say about today, in today's world. But how many, we kind of grew up in that same kind of atmosphere as like mental health. You know what I mean? What's that?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
suck it up. But how many people have we seen in life that had struggled with that? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And
It's
in a
weird.
world where everything is basically on your phone, You know, if you're trying to, and I know there's businesses that are up there now that don't really need to be stressing on that, you know, the kind of are already there. But if you're an up and coming business, if you're not on this phone, and I'm not just saying on your phone, but you know what I mean, like
Mhm.
in social media, in the, like you said, in the community, if you're not striving to be using that, you're gonna be behind. So
Oh
one thing
yeah.
like I've seen is so many people get lost. They don't get the likes that they feel like they deserve, or they're not getting the shares, or you know, I mean, anything like that. Like it affects like people's well-being. And
Yeah.
you know, somebody who's been running businesses for what, basically almost the last decade, right?
Mhm.
Like, how do you, I guess, I'm trying to think of the saying of it, but how do you learn where to, all right, I'm going through a phase right now. Give me like a month, or how do you balance that? What's your key to balancing the stresses of not just running a business, but having to deal with life in general, you know?
It it's difficult, honestly, and that's why I feel like not everybody has what it takes to be number one in certain positions, especially when it comes to a business, because having a business is it's not easy. And I think nowadays people think it is. Because they see everybody doing it, so they're like, it became cool, like to have
Mhm.
a business, to be an entrepreneur. It's cool now. It's a trend. It's like, oh, I have a business. I have a business. But man, like having a business is it can get depressing. It's really hard, and if you don't have the the mental health for it, it can it can be a serious problem. Because I mean, I've been through a lot, and I mean, you know, like the most days, most was like a lot of people don't even know that I was going through like crazy. I was depressed at one point. I was going through crazy anxiety consistently, and it was crazy because at the time that all this started happening to me with even Most, it was during the time that Most was doing the best financially. And really, the real reason why I stopped doing Most was because of that, because I came to a point where I was just never happy. And, you know, I went through a dark path where I felt that it just wasn't me anymore. Like in the beginning of Most, I was like it was all about family and building and team and friendships. And then it started getting, then when all that, like you started to lose all that, and you start to lose your friends because of it. You start, you know, you start to lose even family, and people start misunderstanding you. And and not just that, but and then just because you're so brand new to business, you don't even know there's so many people out there, and business is about networking. And when people are, you don't even know that people are out to get you sometimes, or people are out to steal your ideas, or they're just trying to one up you. And it can be a very scary place. And truthfully, man, I came to a point where I was unhappy, and I started drinking to cope with it. And I was even an alcoholic, and I didn't even know it, you know, because, and came to a point where I was drinking, you know, almost every day. And I didn't even know it. I thought like it was just normal. And it just made me feel good, because every time I felt like I had anxiety, I was like, you know what, I'll pound 2, 3 beers to the dome, and I'm good. But I was technically just numbing it. And then next, you know, it came to a point where I had crazy panic attacks, where I ended up in the ER thinking I was going to have a heart attack. And it happened multiple times, to a point where I was like, I knew something was wrong. And then, you know, I, man, I had blonde hair as well. Like I dyed my hair blonde, like a Britney Spears moment for sure, you know?
Yeah.
And like, I was like losing myself. And I came to a point one day where it was crazy. I sat down with my pops, and like I told him, like I think I'm like, I don't know. I was just sitting there, and I was just like, I think I need to close down the store. And he just looked at me. He goes like, yeah, you need to, because it's killing you. And like, and again, it was doing the best financially. We were growing. I mean, at the time we had Sway Lee wearing most. We had like we were popping, like it was at that point, but it just didn't feel right to me. And that made it so difficult for me to be like, how do I let this go? Like this is my baby, and at the same time it's doing well, but and then learning to understand that it just wasn't right, and being able to like take that on, it was difficult, but I had to do it. And when I did it, again, it took me through another phase of depression again, because then I felt like a failure. I felt like I gave up. And my mentality, the way I was raised, the way I never give up. Like everything that I want, I get. I figure it out. So like to me, it's like giving that up was so hard, and it came to a point where for months I was depressed after I closed down the shop, because I didn't think I had the energy. I didn't think I was gonna have the time to like to do it again. I was like, man, this how am I gonna, like, I put so much time, money, effort, blood, sweat, and tears into this, and how am I gonna do it all over again? I didn't think it was possible. And I was already in the state of mind where I was like, I'm just gonna get a regular job and just be regular. And somehow I had to fight through it and pick myself back up, and that's kind of how Vision X was born. And now I'm happy, and now I'm in a better place. And honestly, all of this, like how you balance, how to answer your question. Sorry, I got into detail,
No,
but
man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you sharing a real piece of your life, and that's people need to hear that. It's not all peachy, and like I
yeah, it's
said, like I
not.
said with the phone thing, people don't see the other side, and
Yeah.
that's a big thing. You think everybody's living their best life. That's
Oh
one thing
yeah.
I tell
Oh yeah.
I tell all I actually work with a mental health facility, and I tell people, like, it's okay to be in a struggle. It's okay to,
Oh yeah.
go through something, because that's what's going to build you up better. When you're going through everything smooth, 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 that first bit of adversity is going to hit you, and then you're not going to know where to go. But, if you get hit with some adversity, you go through it, you learn how to carry yourself through. You know how to pull yourself through it. You know how to conduct yourself when you're going through something. And you know what? Like, I appreciate you sharing that, because a lot of people will just look at it like, oh man, this guy's got 6 businesses, like he's doing his thing. But you sharing that is gonna help somebody out.
Yeah, man. It's tough, but you know what I've learned from all this is it's all about perspective. And like that's super key, man. Like if you want to learn how to balance a business, you got to make sure your perspective is correct. And for multiple reasons, because the way you look at things, right? Because at the end of the day, like, I can, let's say I'm starting this business, and let's say it's not working out, and there's a reason why it's not working out. But
Yeah.
and then it's also important, to have a higher belief, something higher than yourself as well. Because if, like, you need to understand that higher power, with, it can be God, it can be the universe, whatever you believe in. They're always they're putting you in these circumstances for a reason.
Yep.
And then that's when perspective comes in, because it's like, okay, my business isn't working. And a lot of people start getting depressed and start getting sad and start feeling some type of way. But if you start looking at it in a more positive perspective, like, there's a reason why God is putting me through this. There's a reason why. And you start like, okay, maybe what am I not doing yet? Oh, I'm not following up with clients. Oh, I'm not building community. Oh, then you start realizing that you haven't done a lot of things that you need to do. Then you start putting those things to work, and then you start realizing that things start to work out. But if I had, and that's just looking at it in a positive and understanding. But if, when you look at it in a negative, like, oh, this business isn't working out, and then you can just put yourself in a rabbit hole. And that's why, like, that's what's been helping me lately, till this day, it's not easy. I have all these businesses going on. I have uh, a cool little headquarters. I got a lot of things going on, but all this is hard. It's still hard. And I came to a point where I was like, man, it's just perspective, like when it gets difficult, I just got to see what I'm like. I can't dwell on it. I can't be negative about it. So I just start to like think about it like, okay, what haven't I done? There's a reason that God's making me putting me through this, and he just wants to take me to a whole new level, and he believes in me and he wants to put me there, but I need to do something. So and then I just see it more like a challenge. And then I'm like, okay, the real reason is because I still haven't done these things, and then I apply them, and then bam, I'm in a new level. And I've learned to understand that. And now every time something comes my way, again, I look at it with a positive perspective, and that's how I overcome. And it's all just growing and growing. And I'm a believer in God, and I'm a believer that God puts you into situations for you to just grow. And that's my positive belief. Just every time there's a struggle, it just means that you need to grow. And then for you to grow, you're going to have to go through some obstacles, and you need to figure it out on your own. And then that's when you're going to see the benefits once you overcome that. And that has been helping me out a lot lately. Another thing is just having no more limited belief, not capping myself, because again, having a business, it's hard. And if you start like, oh, I can only make X amount, or then you're capping yourself, like stop capping yourself. Think big, think that you can do it all. Why not? Like, why not? Because when you're like, I'm going to be content with, just my business making X amount. Right. And then next, you don't hit that. And then let's put it into numbers real quick. Let's say you want to make 10K a month, but now you're capping yourself at those 10K. So you really shouldn't say that. Think bigger. Why? Like, it's going to be just as hard to go for 10K than to go for 100K, honestly. So why not say, I want to make 100K. I want to make 100K, and go for it. Why not? I mean, shoot, like sky's the limit, literally. And again, you need to just believe. And because at the end of the day, if I'm gunning for 10K every month, then most of the time when you set a goal, you don't hit it every time. You might sometimes hit 5, 6, 8. So if you start gunning for a higher number, man, look at it's the way you put things, right? If you start gunning for 100K, then you might start hitting 80, 60, 50K. And that's really what it is. Like, don't limit yourself. Think big, and everything's possible. With having a higher belief than yourself, having somebody that's pushing you forward. I don't. Sorry to get like little spiritual.
Nah, bro, this is perfect, bro. I totally.
I mean, it really is. Like, you need it's not just about you, and you need to understand these things to really push forward. And that's really where I'm at now, right? Because like going back to like the most days and all that, like what I just recapped was like me going through the struggles and letting that get to me to a point where I was drinking, going to the ER with panic attacks. And then now where I'm at now, I'm in a much better place. And it's all through perspective and not having limited belief, and having, believing in something higher than myself. And that's really what's pushing me through, and what's helping me grow all these businesses.
No, man, definitely. That's you're hitting it spot on, because I'm somebody that kind of believe in the same thing, different worded verbiage. I would say my take on it is, when you're looking at something, you're looking at it through a lens. You only got this amount of vision, or you only got this amount of sight, right? Sometimes in life you're gonna have to take a step back. Sometimes in life you're gonna have to take take a look around and see the entire scene. You gotta
Oh
take a
yeah.
look at everything. If you get lost in your own lane, right? That's what I tell people. You got to create your own lane, but you got the same time, you got to see the entire image of what's being painted. Each stroke is something that's going to be on an entire picture, right? And when you're going through the daily struggles or the daily, hustle of whatever it is, you know what, you can get lost in that circle of life, or that hamster wheel of getting up in the morning, going to work, whether it's going to the gym or hanging with friends, whatever your fun time is, and repeat and repeat. Sometimes you got to step back and take a look at how far you've come, how far you have left, and enjoy. And like you said, you got to take some of the fruits of your labor. You got to enjoy that, while at the same time you can't get lost in it. Sometimes you could
Yeah.
feel like you're going down the right path, and then 3-4 months later you're like, shit, I've been doing it wrong, or you cut the wrong people off, or like you said, you've lost friends, family, you know what I mean? So like, you can, whatever you're doing in life, that's why I tell people, like, you just got to take it slow. You got to make sure you're doing it right. And when you realize, you know what, I made a mistake, it's okay. You can learn
Yeah.
from that mistake. Don't go too hard on yourself. But how can you fix it? How can you change it? How can you become better as a person, become better as a group, an organization, whatever you want to call yourself? How do you become better at that? And
Yeah.
that's one thing that, it's challenging, but it's part of the game. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you look at all the different things you have to go through, and you're like, you know what, I'm ready for it. Like, that's one thing, I'm ready for any challenge that life throws
Yeah.
me. And you know what, I might not win every challenge, but I'm gonna go down swinging.
Yeah. And another thing that's important is self-validation. That I cannot stress enough as well. Like, it's self-validation is super important, because sometimes, like you said, there's so many distractions, so many things going on that you lose sight, especially having a business. You lose sight, like, because you're just so tunneled into the vision and tunneled into the business and how you're going to grow it. And all you see is problems. All you see is like consistent. Having a business is consistent, like problem solution, and you get lost in that to a point where sometimes you don't take a step back, like you said, and you pat yourself in the back, and like, hey, I'm doing good, doing okay. And like you take a step back and you realize, like, okay, well, I was here a couple of years ago and now I'm here. But again, that goes back to like perspective, and I don't want to get in another rabbit
Yeah,
hole.
no, man, no,
Start
definitely,
talking.
bro. I mean, I think it's a perfect spot to end our little first segment of the episode. But before we go on our little break, I play a game. It's the Centerlocked show, so of course we're gonna have to lock in our picks. All right, so I'm gonna give you two options. Pick A, pick B. You're gonna have to lock in your answer. Sound easy?
Cool. Yeah.
All right, let's do it. The first question is gonna be Nike or Adidas,
Nike.
Drake or Lil Wayne.
That's tough. That's really tough. Um, Little Wayne.
I respect that. It's a good answer, solid answer right there.
Yeah.
All right, last one before we go on break. Jay-Z or Kanye?
Jay-Z.
I respect that answer as well.
Mhm.
But make sure you guys don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're gonna talk about Orange County and how it's pretty much it's Orange County is on a come up right now, and we're gonna talk about the different leaders in the game of just improving Orange County, whether it's in sports, music, entertainment, business, everything. And then we're gonna talk about Bert's event coming up in next Sunday, the true
Yeah.
true promotion, the first, or it was the first event,
Second.
second event. So make sure you guys come right back, sit through this commercial, and we'll be right back. promo code sideline10 to receive 10% off all of your graphic design needs, logos, pictures, business cards, anything that you need. Contact Matthew Cifuentes at Matt2Siffy. What's up, everybody? We're back right here with my boy Bert, and you know what? We just dropped a really good first half of this episode. So you know what? Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You know, share us. Hey, send it to your uncles, send it to your tias, send it to your cousin. Hey, send it to everybody on your. You know what I mean? Just go send it to everybody on your contact list right now. But the second half, you know, I want to talk about something that you got coming up, and that's the True Promotions presents the True Two, and I'll leave it to you just to describe what it really is. But you know what, if you're a fan, and this is, like I said, this is a sports show, so we're gonna talk a little bit of sports.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of MMA, this is something for you.
Well, what True Promotions is, it's a fight promotion. We're in the amateur MMA world. I'm partnered with somebody else that's I think big in Orange County. He's done a lot of good things in Orange County. Christian Gonzalez. He's a pro fighter. He's fought for Bellator, and we're good friends as well. He's like a brother to me. We pretty much started True, and our main goal with this is actually to build an amateur show that gets these fighters ready for the pros. There's a lot that we're gonna put into this, but technically our main goal is really to make a show that's more about the fighters. The thing about MMA is that they don't really get paid much. And being in this new world, it's all about, as much as it sucks, but it's all about clout. It's all about, what you can bring to the table, if you can sell tickets. And the thing about this is that usually amateurs don't really have that, and then when they go into the pros, they get pretty bad deals. So we really want to build these amateurs up, and we want to give them the proper content, the proper promotion, and to really push them out. And we have a lot of things in the works. We haven't even we're not even there yet. Like this is going to be our second show. But just from our first show, the California Fight Commission, they said it was one of the best shows they've ever seen. It really felt like a pro show, and because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to give them that experience. We're trying to make them feel like it's the real deal, and not just the feel, but eventually, we want to do like what the UFC is doing. But for amateurs, we want to do record them, before their fight. We want to interview them before their fight. We want to do, a post conference, literally give them that feel.
Yeah.
And not just that, but also help them push, their brand image. That way, when they do go to the pros, they already have a following. Yeah. And that's the main goal, and then not just that, but also getting them paid. As amateurs, they don't really get paid much. Usually they get paid about like 10%, if that. We're giving fighters 25% of ticket sales. So we're giving them more. And literally this show is for the fighters and to build these fighters. And that's our main goal. And at the end of the day, I love MMA. I love that sport. That's pretty much the only real sport that I still follow, since I'm like busy. And it's exciting, and seeing amateurs fight, it's super exciting. Like, if you haven't been to an amateur show, I recommend it, even if it's not our event, because it's exciting. These guys go out there and they brawl. It's not like a pro show where they're so advanced that they're playing chess with each other.
Not so technical.
Yeah, it's right now, amateur shows they're exciting because they go out there and they brawl. And the game and the sport, it's evolving as well, that these guys are good, man. The sport, the MMA sport is still so new that it's like right now it's it's barely, it's so young still, and I'm just excited about it, honestly, because these kids now, like, like I'm 30 years old. Shit, the UFC started popping, like, and like hitting like more of a mainstream, like in 2008, I believe, 2007, 2008. And now, but now these 20-year-olds now, they grew up, they were 10 years old, watching 8 years old, watching UFC,
Yeah.
to a point where they're wrestling, they're doing jiu-jitsu, they're doing Muay Thai at a young age, and their skill levels are amazing to see, even at an amateur level. And the only thing that you see that's really different is that they're a little, again, they just go out there and brawl, most of them, or some of them are, they're overcoming more like the mental part of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, the skills there, man, and the fights are exciting. So again, if you guys haven't seen an amateur show, I recommend it. And if you guys want to come to ours, I guarantee you guys will love the experience. It feels like a pro show. We got, big LED screens. We got sparkles, smoke, light systems. Like, we have the whole shebang. It's theater seating. It's exciting. So again, we're going to have our show next week on Sunday, January 30th. It's like a Sunday fun day. If you can make it, tickets are going to be $55 general admission, VIP for $100, and it's worth it. I guarantee you'll have a great time if you come and experience this.
And what time and what city? Time and city?
Doors open at 3. Fights start at 4, and it's in the city of Anaheim. The Grand Theater in it's literally on Harbor. It's like right across the street from Disneyland. Nice venue. Again, you guys won't regret it. If you guys show up, you guys will definitely not like. I've done lots of events like growing up, from hip hop shows, and just I've always been in the event industry as well. And honestly, after our first show, I literally talk about self-validation, man. I pat myself in the back because I was just proud of myself, because that show was just so, I'm proud of my partner. Like, that show that we put on was dope. Like, and again, I'm not someone that likes to show off or none of that. Like, if you know me, I'm pretty much to myself. I'm quiet, but honestly, I was excited. I was just like, man, this show's dope. And I just want other people to come and experience it and support these fighters, man, because a lot of these fighters don't get the support. They're amateurs. Some of them come and, they only have like 1 or 5 supporters. So just come, cheer them on, and like give them, because it comes from the people. If the people start following these fighters at an amateur rate, it's like you're helping them. You're helping somebody grow that following. That way they don't get cheap deals when they become pros. So it's not even about us, it's about them. Again, we're a fight promotion for fighters. So come support them. If you don't like me, come support some young talent.
Hey, make sure you guys, you know what? Hey, if you got some time on next Sunday, or even if you don't got some time, make some time, right? Go out there, support. And one thing that I like when I watch the MMA, like when UFC, boxing, whatever it is, if I can see somebody from the beginning of their career and see the progression, it's so much easier to be a fan. It's so much easier to get involved, to follow somebody, So what a perfect time to see some of these, hopefully future big stars one day, start in the amateur game and work their way up. So definitely, if you are a fan of the MMA game, the MMA sport itself, make sure you guys turn up. Make sure you guys show some love and show up for the Centerlocked show, and go put it on right there. But something, like you said, big in Orange County, Christian Gonzalez, right?
Mm-hmm.
He is somebody I know that when it comes to the sports world, he was in Bellator, but he came back, opened a few businesses of his own, has that popping, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of a trend right now. I think Orange County is is on the rise. And you know, I mean, people could say whatever they want. Oh, Orange County has always been there. You know, I know my LA listeners can always say like, oh, OC, you know, that they got their love over there. You know, they got the money, all that. But
No,
I mean,
not
you
our
know,
part, not our part.
yeah, and that's the part I think that is slowly. I don't want to say taking no lead because we're all in this together. You know, we all put on for the juice, but I feel like North Orange County is kind of getting some love right now. You know, we got a lot of dudes out there putting on athletically. We got a lot of dudes coming up, and you know, I say dudes, but I mean both male and female. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Putting on for musically, business, entrepreneurship, um, restaurants. I know a couple people opening up restaurants. I mean, you're including you. Um, like how do
Oh,
you
yeah.
what are you seeing? Are you feeling kind of the same thing that I'm kind of talking about, or
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, dude, even our school alone, Buena Park High School, like people that come from, and it's crazy because Buena Park has always been judged as one of the ghetto schools and one of the worst schools in like North County. And like honestly, it's man, I've seen a lot of people come out of there and like they're doing some dope shit, man. Like again, Christian Gonzalez, his brother Gio Gonzalez,
Mhm.
Giovanni Gonzalez, like that that guy, man, that guy's killing it right now. Like he's doing so good for himself. Like I'm so proud of that guy. And like we got Hector Rodriguez, like he opened up a taco restaurant. We got um Ricky Verdugo. That guy's doing great in in like the fitness industry. We got man, even Christian Wadwa, he has a gym. Um, man, like Bonaparte alone, like you just like I start thinking about it. I'm like, man, like we're we're doing good, you know. We got you, we got can't forget about Gabe and Menjol, like they're
Yep,
pushing through with their business. Man, like there's a lot of people from Bonaparte High School that are just killing it right now. And I'm proud of everybody, honestly. Like I there's never no hate in my heart. All those guys, like I know them personally. I they're some of my best friends, and like man, I'm proud of all of them. They're all killing it. I'm proud of you. Like we were just chopping it up right now on the break. Like what you're doing is great, man. Like
appreciate it.
keep pushing forward. You're gonna. I see big things with you. You know,
Appreciate it,
just
brother. Appreciate it.
for sure. And then again, like the Hawkins brothers, like there's just so many people that are coming out of that high school that are doing great things. Like it's dope to me. And Orange County as a whole, you know, you got a lot of people that are doing their thing musically, still, and like, and they're just all over, you know, got all over the place. Like North Orange County is for sure on the rise, and you know, I know a couple older heads too that are doing things. So it's really dope, man, because I'm excited to see what's gonna happen in the next 5-10 years. You know, like me personally, like I feel like this last decade was a huge roller coaster. Like my our 20s, a lot of the people that are named are around my age or a little younger, and like it's been a roller coaster so far. And man, it's really just the beginning. We're all still so young, you know. We're
Yeah,
all, you know, early 20s, late 20s, early 30s, and man, we still have a lot of life to live. We still have a lot of things to accomplish, and it's just the beginning. Like it's crazy
absolutely.
because I turned 30 just recently, and I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, I was so happy when I turned 30. I'm like, I felt younger than I did when I was 25. I was like, man, I'm still, because when I was 25, I had this like thought in my head that I needed to be successful by that age, and that I needed to have so many things by that age I I grew to like the find out that like, nah, you got to enjoy the ride. And
Mhm.
and now that I'm 30, I'm like, I'm still young. I feel like I'm 20 years old right now.
You
Like
just you
there's
you
still
still in
so
line
much
for
to
the
it.
ride, man. You ain't even on
Yeah.
the ride yet.
Exactly. You know, when I was 25, I can't even. I was still under the 4 feet or whatever. I couldn't even
Yeah,
hit the ride. You know what I mean? And now I'm just like, all right, I'm about to hop on. You know, so it's exciting, man. And I'm proud. Again, I'm proud of everybody. And what I again like, and what I enjoy about this is that I don't know, man. Business excites me, and I what I feel that we all got to do as a community is stick together. You know, even if we're there, even if it's friendly competition, man. Like, because some of us might be doing the same businesses. We might be doing, we might all be in the food industry. We might all be in the fitness industry, whatever it is. But it's all friendly competition. There shouldn't be no hate. You know, hate is ugly. At the end of the day, we all come from the same place. Let's, even though there's competition, whatever, let's at the end of the day, my hat's still off, and I still respect everybody, and I still give credit when credit's due, and because I know how hard it is to grow a business, and
yeah,
everybody that's out there grinding, man, my hat's off, like
de-
literally hats off, like it's
definitely,
fucking
man.
dope
I,
because
I,
it ain't easy.
I want to, just I want to, I agree with everything you're saying. Like, and one of the things I feel like you did, and to give you a little, I appreciate you giving me a little love. You know what I mean? I'm gonna return the favor, man. I feel like, you kind of laid some of the foundation down, some the walkway where, what, we were able to follow a couple of the same, make some of the same decisions that you made, or what, you were able to tell us, what, don't make this decision, make this one instead. And just, being part of you, I don't know if you even thought of it when you were going through it, but you having a bunch of kids around you, what, and like being a mentor in a world that, what, we didn't really have any clue about, and you can look at, how many people were coming by the shop, doing, like you said, dope shit right now, just doing so much positivity,
Oh yeah,
giving back to the community, giving back to just everybody. Like, I mean, I just want to give you your time of, give you your flowers of, what, thank you for allowing a lot of people to come around. And, you know, I was doing stuff in high school with you. I was doing stuff when I got out, when I was in college, like coming back to the shop, and to see the different amount of kids that would come in, smiles on their face. And what, at the end of the day, people were in there having good times. People were in there with people that were, what, maybe we didn't see it at the time, but now a lot of those people were hungry for something, are hungry
oh
for
yeah,
something.
oh
And you know
yeah,
what? I just want to give you your flowers on that, man. Like, you definitely you laid down a solid foundation for us to follow. And we're not just gonna let you down by just following you. We're gonna lay down the foundation for the next group of people to come up. And we're gonna be seeing that next, group of people come up within the next year, 2, 3 years.
yeah,
And you know what? It's gonna be a trickle down effect. Like you said, you got some older homies that kind of laid down the way for you. And you know
yeah.
what? I mean, I think, like you said, staying together is key. And you
It
know
is.
what? Like the juice is only gonna go as far as we want, and
Yeah,
it's gonna take all of us to continue to push. It's gonna take all of us to continue to want the most, want the best out of everybody. And you know what? Like, you gave some shout outs earlier to some people. I want to give some shout outs right now to True 100. They're killing it in the music scene right now. I want to give a shout out to Sneaker Lab OC, just opened up right there in DTF. I want to give a shout out to my boy Travis Chase. I want to give a shout out to my boy Daquan, killing it with his clothing brand. Everybody that is working. Shout out to my boy Cifuentes with his graphic designing, with everything he's doing in the media. My boys over here was on the field for the first round of playoff game at SoFi Stadium. Like, that's some tight ass shit right there. Shout out to my boy, like you said, Jalen and Nick in the NFL. We got dudes coming up in this year that are going to be in the combine, hopefully get drafted. Shout out to Ryan Nelson. Hopefully, what, you end up with a team. And even if you don't, you're going to, I know he's somebody that's going to continue to put on for the juice. And, we're really all in this together. And like you said, man, we got to push each other. We got to have gotta have each other's back too. You know, there's gonna be a lot of things where, you know what, it doesn't hurt to give somebody a share. It doesn't hurt to give somebody a like. It doesn't hurt to give somebody a put on, because at the end of the
Exactly.
day, like that's just how we should move. We should move. We should take one step. One of us takes a step. We should be able to support that step. You know, and as long
Yeah.
as we know that we, like I said, I was talking to you a little bit before. Like I want to lock down my area. I want to make sure, like when it comes to the juice, like people know who I am and people know
You know,
how I move. You know what I mean?
sorry to cut you off. You know what we need? What we should do? Let's make a Discord. Let's make a Discord and let's get everybody on there. Like I'll
Yeah.
get everybody that I know, older, younger than me, that you know, and I feel like same thing with you. And we should just build this community through Discord, that like for that part of Orange County where we're coming from, and literally start pushing each other to keep this alive. You know, again, even though we're in the same industry, it's like, hey man, like let's give each other pointers. Like, why work against each other? Like, let's work with each other. Let's okay, let's all, you know, at the end of the day, we all eat at multiple restaurants. We all wear different clothing. We all, you know, like there's no need for that. Let's
Yeah.
help each other, and let's build this community. Let's build this place, and like let's motivate each other. You know, I'm tired of seeing all this hate, man. Like there's no need for it. Or people like understanding or being in competition. Like I get it, friendly competition is great, but when you start letting competition put you in a state of mind where you start hating, that's not cool, man. Like we
Right.
don't need that. Like that's negative energy that you're putting out in this world. Let's put out some positivity. Let's all push each other. Again, I'm willing to do this, and any flyer I'm willing to post. Like any, if you're doing something, if you, hey, honestly, I'm telling you right now, and like if you send me every flyer that you of every podcast that you do, I'm gonna post it. Like I got you.
Appreciate
Like
it, brother.
and anybody, like if you guys are listening to this, if you guys have me on Instagram, or if not, add me at Bert_most and send me your flyers, I'll post them. Like I got you. If you're like, that's what I'm about. Like at the end of the day, I haven't really been out there. I'm glad that, honestly, another thing is I never really liked interviews. I never really liked being on camera or being really out there. My Instagram is pretty simple, because to me it's really tough to be on camera. I don't really like it, but I've learned to understand it, and to a point that I need to. I need to start speaking more, because honestly I want to help more, and people are not going to reach out or take my help if I'm not talking, and they might think I'm this, like, you know, cocky, you know, business owner that is out of their league. But no, I'm not at all. I'm still struggling, and I
Yeah.
want to let everybody know right now that if they send me their flyers or whatever they want to push, I'll do my best to push it. And because that's what it's all about, you know. And I know how hard it is, and I've been there, and a lot of people have supported me, a lot of people have pushed me, so I want to return the favor. So again, if you don't have me on Instagram, add me. I'll repost your shit all day.
Hell yeah, man. You know what, everybody, this is gonna be a you know, like first off, man, I want to make sure you know you got a voice, man. You got a voice in the OC, and people, when you speak, bro, people will listen. So you know, keep that with you, bro. Like definitely when you put something out, I promise you people see it and people take that in, and however they take it in, but people take
Yeah.
that in, people consume that, and that's something that you should know, bro, for sure. But I want to make sure right now, this, you know, it's what, January 19th at 10:35 in the morning. This is gonna be a milestone. This is gonna be something that we can look back on and say, you know what, that was a successful chapter, the beginning of a successful chapter in the juice. You know, like I keep going back to that, the juice, because it's really like I feel energized when I talk about it, because there's so many people doing positive stuff, so many people that are gonna be taking over in the next run. And you know what? I felt like when I was growing up, I didn't feel like Orange County had the love that it, you know, that it deserved. And you
Yeah,
know, if
me
one thing I
too.
can do, one thing that you can do, I know that you want as well, is if we can make this really a solid, a great movement, man, let's just all be in it. Let's all make sure that we're doing something and we're making sure we put on for the juice. But with that being said, man, I know we've been talking for a minute and we have some great things to talk about, but I think it's time we have to wrap this episode up.
Cool.
But before we go, I got a few questions for you. So you ready, bro?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. The first question I got to ask you is what or who is your why?
Myself. I used to do things for like other people. But now I made myself like I need to be my own hero, you know what I mean? I need to look at me and like in my head it's like I want to be somebody that I can look up to. And that's what I push for, like, and because I feel like if I do that, I don't want to let myself down. And if I don't let myself down, then I'm not going to let other people down. But besides that, I feel like my first why that really pushed me through all this is really my parents. Like I know what they did and what they came and you know they came as immigrants into this country and they freaking sacrificed everything for me and my brothers, and my dad's my freaking hero, and I seen everything that he's done for us, and I just, man, again, I want to be the same hero and to like my kids and whatever comes after my generation. And but again, I need to do, at the end of the day, I believe that everybody needs to do things for themselves, because sometimes when you're like focused on doing things for like your parents, you might lose yourself and you might be doing things for the wrong reason, you know, because your parents might advise you to do something. And then that's when you start to like follow what they want, not what you want. So that's why I'm saying that I'm my own why, not because I'm selfish, not because I'm like self-centered, none of that. Is because first of all, you need to do it for yourself, because you need to truly believe in yourself. You need to truly believe in what you're doing, and you need to know yourself before you even feel success. And you need to be happy with what you're doing. So that's why I'm my own why. But at the end of the day, I mean, I can't forget about my parents, you know?
Yeah, man. No,
And
definitely,
I'm
man.
still doing me.
I respect everything you said, bro. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the truthfulness, and I agree with it, man. If you ain't doing something for yourself, and you know, I mean, not everything you have to do for yourself, but at the end of the day, when it comes to you making yourself happy, and you know, if you're not happy with it, like you're never gonna be happy. You know what I mean? So, appreciate that, bro. The last question for you, bro, is who do you want to see on this Centerlock show? But the trick is, whoever you say, you got to help me get them on the show.
You know who I feel needs this is that I haven't heard, because I don't think he's done any podcasts yet. Gio Gonzalez. That guy needs to be heard. That guy needs to be heard. I think that guy, man, like, if anybody's doing it, he's doing it. Like, and he's again one of my brothers. He was one of my best friends growing up. Man, me and that guy in high school were. If people are in this hearing this from like, and if you want to Buena Park in anywhere from like 2006 to 2009, you know me and Gio, like, for sure. And I think he needs to be heard, and I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna for sure reach out to him, link you up with him, because man, he's doing it right, man. And I'm so proud of him. And I know he hasn't been on a podcast yet, and he needs to be heard.
Hell yeah.
And
Hell yeah.
so I'm gonna link you for sure.
Appreciate that, man. You know, with Gio, man, and whenever you're ready, bro, let's do it. And let's, like I said, the second half of this episode has been doing it for the juice. So let's do it, man. Let's make this work. But man, Bert, appreciate you spending some time with me, spending some time with the Centerlock family. And you know what, man? Definitely gonna continue to support, continue to push out anything that you need. And just want to say thank you again for not just coming on, but also, like I said earlier, being a mentor, being somebody that I've been able to look up to and see, you know what, it's not just you can do a regular job, but why not be something else? Why not be greater? Why not be something that you want to do, you know? So I just want to say thank you again, bro. And I really appreciate the like I said, even though you might not have realized, but like you laid down a solid foundation for not just me, but for many of my friends and family to follow, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me on the show. Again, like it was kind of unexpected, last minute, but I was like, man, let's do it. Why not? I have an hour. Let's just do it. And I had a good time, good chat with you. Again, let's make this Discord. Let's
Yeah,
make it
let's do it.
happen. We'll link up about that. And anything. If you guys want to do anything for like any type of media work for like my events, more than welcome to stop by, get
Oh
you
yeah.
guys introduced to the fight community. And anything, man. Hey, stop by my shop, by the way.
Yeah, definitely. I'll stop by. We'll talk about this after, and yeah, we'll link up for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, definitely thank you again. But to all the center lock and the sideline sports listeners, followers, whatever you want to call yourself, family. I like to call it our family. But you know what? We're at 354 subscribers right now. I want to see can you guys help me get 360 subscribers after this episode? Because you know what? We're moving up there. And like I said, we got something for you. I know I've been saying it for a minute. I said at 350, we hit 350, but it's just, I need a little bit more time. It's in the works. It's going to be big. Trust me, believe me. And you know what? If we can make this happen, I think I'll be able to get it done probably this week. So let me do the hard work, but put out, share whatever you need to do. Let's get to 360. And with that being said, I want to say thank you guys again for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week. Out.
Bueno Park is in the building. Bueno Park? What's the deal? Nothing but the homies out there. Nothing but the homies. What's up with the homies?
Who poppin', we poppin'.